Yes, hello and welcome to this short instructional video on creating a histogram using pivot charts in Excel spreadsheets. Now on my spreadsheet that you can see, I have two columns of data. I have a score column and a frequency column. Now I'm going to use those to create my histogram, and all I have to do to get started is highlight that data. I need to highlight both columns. Just like that, including the headings is fine. Go to Insert and go to Pivot Chart. Once you've got Pivot Chart, you'll get this menu. Don't need to change anything on this menu, just hit OK. Now you'll see this come up. This is where we're going to edit what we're going to use in our pivot chart. Now, I want the score to be my x-axis, so I'm going to drag score down to the axis category box, and I'm going to bring frequency down to values. Now what that does is it creates a column graph for me, and that's what I'm going to get started with. So a couple of things that I need to do now is I need to go to design. Design is where I'm going to make some of my more aesthetic decisions, and it's where the histogram is going to come from. So here I'm going to change my design. If you click in here, you get a whole bunch of different types of designs, and you can see that they change to give you a bit of a preview of what they might look like. I'm going to choose this one. I just like the glowy lights around the edges of my columns, just for a little bit of fun. I can change the colors. I'm going to make them a little bit pretty, or pretty in my thinking. I'm going to make some nice pretty glowy orange columns and whatnot. Now, to make my histogram, because I have all the bits and pieces in there, to make the actual histogram itself, I'm going to go to Quick Layout. I'm going to find Layout 8. Layout 8 is the histogram layout. And OK. So now I have my histogram. A couple of things I can do now is I can edit the titles for the axes. So I can change this one down here just by clicking on it and typing in score, matching my heading from the previous sheet. And I can do the same with this one, change that one to frequency. If I have spelled that correctly, yes, I have. So that's a good start. You can change the sizes of those by highlighting the box itself. So if you highlight the box itself, we can go back here, we can change the font, we can change the size, same for each of these little boxes here. Makes it a little bit more interesting to look at. If you want to change some of the colors, again, you can change them in here or back in the design tab. You can change the headings here as well. A couple of things you can also do is if you go into this box, you can also change which columns you see and which ones you don't. So for example, if I didn't want to see box number 7 or column number 7, I could just click that, unclick it, hit OK, ta-da. I can get that back just by hitting select all again. Pretty simple so far. So a couple of other things that we can do is we can add some grid lines in, which is what I'm going to do now. So I go up to my little plus. I'm going to add in not some data labels. I'm going to get some grid lines. You can see there that comes up with the horizontal ones. I'm going to add in some major vertical ones, some extra little horizontal ones to make it a little bit easier to read. And we can chuck in some data labels so we know what those numbers actually are without having too many issues. And the same with data labels is you should be able to change the positioning wherever you want. So I'm going to make them a data callout, and you can always choose more options if you want to get a little bit more in depth with how you want to do that. Okay, that is essentially it. Once you have tidied up everything on there, just click on the main part or the background of your chart, Control C it, copy paste, you can put it in a Word document, PowerPoint, or whatever you need to use. That's how you create the histogram from a very basic table in Excel spreadsheets, and good luck with the rest of your spreadsheet.